Good morning. Welcome to the lecture series of operating systems. In today's class, we try to discuss about the memory management. In the memory management, the following topics will be covered. The background of the memory management. Here we try to discuss about the requirements or the need of the memory management. And the next one is the contiguous memory allocation. And next one is the paging, structure of the page table, segmentation, demand paging, and page replacement algorithms. So first we try to discuss about the objectives of the memory management. The first objective is to provide a detailed description of various ways of organizing memory hardware. Already we know that the computer is having the different hardware devices. One is the processor and another one is the memory. And whenever we need to run our application, the application must be loaded into the primary memory. So here we try to discuss about what are the different approaches we are using for the memory hardware management. We try to discuss. And the second objective of the memory management is to discuss various memory management techniques including paging and segmentation. So first we try to discuss about how the memory management is done in the early days. In the early days they simply allocated for the contiguous memory allocation. Later, to avoid the disadvantages of the contiguous memory allocation, they have adopted the segmentation. In that segmentation is also be having some limitations. To overcome those limitations, the paging concept is introduced. So we try to discuss about what are the different approaches are available for the memory management, and each and every memory management approaches we try to discuss what are the advantages as well as the disadvantages of the each approach. And the another object, so these are the two objectives of the memory management. So after completion of this unit, the student is able to understand how they are able to organize the memory hardware, and similarly what are the different approaches we are followed for the memory management. And the next we try to discuss about the background of the memory management. So already we know that already in the previous classes we discussed about the process. What is the process? Process is nothing but the program under execution. Already we know that where the program resides, whenever we type a program and save it, it is simply stored into the secondary memory. And whenever we need to run our program, automatically the program must be moved from the secondary memory to the primary memory. So automatically the background of the memory management is, they clearly explain that program must be brought from disk into memory and placed within a process for it to be run. That is nothing but actually the program is available in the secondary memory, and whenever the user want to run that particular program, that program need to be moved from the secondary memory to the primary memory. Whenever then only it is possible to run our application. So that is the first requirement of the memory management. And the second one is main memory and registers are only stored, CPU can access directly. Already we know that there are the different memory is available. These are, one is the registers. Already we know that every processor is having a finite set of registers. The registers are the fastest accessible storage devices compared to any other memory locations. But what is the limitation of the registers? These are the finite set of registers. We are able to store how many registers are available, that number of information only we are able to store. In addition to that one, those are the volatile. That is nothing but whenever the power is turned on and off, automatically the information is available in the registers will be lost. So these are the limitations of the registers, but the advantage is these are the fastest accessible one compared to any other memory locations. And the next one is the primary memory. What is the primary memory? The RAM. Actually the RAM consisting of the RAM is the fastest accessible one, later the registers. And next one is whenever the program want to run, that program must be available in the primary memory, then only the processor is able to access the data. So automatically the main memory and registers are only storage CPU can access directly. In addition to that one, there is a cache memory is also be available. Compared to the registers, cache memory is the slowest one, but compared to the primary memory, the cache memory is the fastest accessible one. And next one is the memory unit only sees a stream of addresses plus read request and addresses for plus data and write request. That is nothing but whenever the user want to perform any operation. So for example, you need to perform the read operation, you must clearly specify from which location the processor need to read the data. Similarly, the processor need to read the instruction. For example, what is the need to read the instruction of the processor? The processor is able to perform the execution instruction by instruction. For example, we write a program, it consisting of the 10 instructions. First, the processor fetches the first instruction. And next, one more important one is there is an instruction pointer, that is one of the register. It holds that what is the next instruction to be fetched. That is nothing but it simply gives the address of the next instruction. So using the instruction pointer, the processor is able to fetch the instruction by instruction. That is nothing but whenever the processor want to fetch the instruction, it must know from which memory location it need to fetch the instruction. That address is given by the instruction pointer. Similarly, whenever the processor need to read the data or the processor need to fetch the data from the memory, so automatically it simply specifies from the memory location. Based on that memory location address only, it is possible to fetch the data. After completion of the operation, again it need to store the data. Which location the data to be stored? If without knowing the address location, it is not possible to retrieve the data. For that reason, either it may be the data read or write operations, they clearly mentioned about the address from which memory location the processor need to perform the read as well as the write operation. Similarly, at the time of the fetching the instruction also, the processor must clearly specify from which memory location it need to fetch the next instruction. So automatically the memory unit only sees a stream of address plus read request. Based on that one, it is possible to from that memory location it is possible to read, and similarly the address plus data and address plus write request it is possible to get. I hope you are able to understand. Whenever we need to perform any operation on the memory, we must clearly mention the address. That address is nothing but from which memory location. Either we need to fetch the instruction, or we need to fetch the data, or we need to write the data in a particular memory location. We clearly specify the address. And next one is the register accesses in one CPU clock. So here they try to explain that already we know that whenever we need to, the processor need to fetch the data within the single clock itself, it is possible to fetch the data from the register. For that reason only we have clearly said that what is the fastest accessible memory location, that is nothing but the registers only. Later cache memory, later primary memory. These are the order of the accessing time, how much time it will take to access the data. I hope you are able to understand the background. So the first requirement is program must be brought into the memory and placed within a process for it to be run. That is nothing but whenever the user want to run his application, initially the program is available in the secondary memory, and once whenever it need to run the application, the operating system brings the particular program from the secondary memory to the primary memory. And what is the need to bring the program from secondary memory to the primary memory is the processor is able to fetch the instructions from the primary memory very fastly. For example, if the entire program is available in the secondary memory, it takes a lot of time to fetch the instructions itself. To overcome that one, the operating system brings the program from the secondary memory to the primary memory. From that primary memory, the processor directly accesses the instructions as well as the data. And next one is main memory and the registers are only the storage CPUs can access. So I hope you understand that the processor is able to directly access one is the registers, and similarly the processor is able to access the cache memory, and another one is the primary memory. But where the actual data and the programs are stored permanently, it is stored on the secondary memory. But at the time of execution, whatever the programs and the data is required for a particular process, those are bring from the secondary memory to the primary memory, and after completion of the operation, the entire program as its related data need to be stored back to the secondary memory for the future purposes. I hope you understand the background of the memory management. And another one is the main memory can take many cycles, causing a stall, and cache sits between the main memory and the CPU registers, and the protection of the memory required to ensure the correct operation. So what is the memory management? These are another requirements is already we discussed. The fastest accessible one is the registers, and the next fastest accessible one is the cache memory, and the next fastest accessible one is the main memory, and next one is the protection of the memory required to ensure the correct operation, that is nothing but for every process a fixed memory is allocated, that is nothing but the process related instructions as well as the data and its stack points. Already in the previous classes at the time of the first unit we discussed that for every process the operating system allocate the memory. This particular process is only allowed to access its allocated memory location only. If the process try to access some other process related instructions or the data, it is not allowed. How it is possible to control? Based on the memory limit, that is nothing but the protection of memory required to ensure the correct operation, that is the process is allowed to access its instruction set and the data only. If it try to access some other location, other process related data, the system is not allowed. So automatically it simply ensures the protection is simply provided by the user's data as well as the instructions. And here we try to discuss about the base and limit registers. So a pair of base and limit registers define the logical address space. So what is actually here in this one, we try to discuss about the logical address as well as the physical address. So what is the meaning of the logical address? For example, we are assuming that we have written the 100 instructions and we are assuming that each instruction requires the 4 bytes, that is the 4 memory locations. So automatically the first instruction starting address is, we are assuming that it is 0, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. These 3 addresses are representing the first instruction, and the second instruction is the 4, 5, 6, 7, and similarly the third instruction is nothing but the 8, 9, 10, 11, and similarly the 10th instruction is nothing but the 40, 41, 42, 43. So automatically this address is represented as the logical address, that is nothing but the logical address is simply representing what is the address based on the beginning of the particular program. We are able to specify that is represented as the logical address. And what is the physical address? For example, we are assuming that our program is stored in the location of the 5000 location. So automatically, for example, the logical address is 0, but in the physical addresses it is in the location of the 5000. For example, the second instruction logical address is the, it starts from 4 and it is occupy the 4, 5, 6, 7 locations, but actually in the physical location it simply occupies the 5004, 5005, 5006 and 5007. These are the memory locations are occupied by the physical address. So automatically the logical address is representing that what is the address of the particular instruction based on the beginning of the particular program. First instruction address is 0, second instruction address is 4. For example, we are assuming that 4 memory locations are occupied by the each and every instruction. Or we are assuming that each instruction occupies only 1 memory location. Automatically the first instruction logical address is 0, and next instruction logical address is 1, third instruction logical address is 2, and so on. In that way that address is represented as the logical address space. And what is the physical address space? Where these instructions are available in the primary memory, that is actual address locations is represented as the physical address. And how we are able to calculate the physical address based on the logical address? Here we are using the base register, limit and base registers. Actually the limit register is specifying either we are accessing that particular program location or not. That is nothing but, already in the previous slide we discussed about the, to provide the protection, the operating system ensures that every process is allowed to access its allocated memory space only. It is not allowed to access the other process related instructions and data to provide the protection. That one is achieved using the limit register. And the base register's requirement is, it simply holds that where the particular process starting address is existing, that is nothing but once we have the logical address and base register value we are able to get, we are adding the base value is added to the logical address, then we are able to get the physical address. For that reason we are using the base register is used for every program whenever we need to load into the primary memory, and whenever it need to access the instructions, we simply added the logical address is added to the base register to get the physical address. And what is the need of the limit register? The limit register holds the, what is the limit of the particular process. That is, we are assuming that a particular process they are allocated only the 1000 memory locations. So at maximum the logical address must be less than 1000 only. If it try to more than 1004, it indicates that it try to access the memory location that is not allocated to the particular process. So automatically the limit register is used to protect the user's data. That is, every process is allowed to access its related allocated memory location only. It is not allowed to access the other process memory location. The operating system memory locations are not allowed. So automatically it simply provides the protection to the user's data as well as the simply protects the system. And next one is the CPU must check every memory access generated in user mode to be sure it is between the base and the limit for that user. That is nothing but whenever the process want to fetch the instruction or the process want to fetch the data, it simply verifies whatever the logical address they are generated, that logical address generated physical address is within the space or not. For that purpose we are using the base and limit registers we are using. And here the structure they try to explain. For example, you are assuming that this is the memory is available, that is nothing but the total primary memory. In the total primary memory starts with the address location 0 and it ends with the 1024, it ends with the 1024 000, that is nothing but it is having the 1 MB of memory space is available. That is the assumption. Actually we know that it is nothing but the 1024 KB, that is nothing but the total size is the 1 MB memory is available. So whenever there is the total memory RAM size is 1 MB, in that one some portion is allocated to the operating system, because actually we know that operating system is the resource manager, that is nothing but the operating system is allocate the memory to our process. Similarly the operating system allocate the processor to our process. Similarly the operating system simply provide the protection. It is a resource manager and it acts as an interface between the user of the computer and computer hardware. But actually what is all these operations are done, it is also be the software only, it is a system software, it is not in a hardware. Whenever it is a system software, it is having a set of instructions. Those instructions are stored into the primary memory in the locations of 0 to 256, that is nothing but the first 256 KB memory is allocated for the operating system. That is nothing but actually whenever the primary memory is existing, it is divided into the two partitions. One is the system space and another one is the user space. And what is the meaning of the system space? The system related software, that is nothing but the operating system, those are stored into that one. And the remaining user space, in this example 1 MB, it simply takes the 256 KB is allocated for the operating system and the remaining is allocated for the user space. In that user space, the user is allowed to store his processes. For example, we are assuming that one of the processes is stored in this location. So in this location, this is the location, it simply stored the user process. So automatically, what is the base, what is the starting address of the user process? 30040, that is nothing but this is the starting address of the user process. And they are allocated up to the 420940, that is this is the memory is allocated for the one process. In this one, based on the memory allocation, the starting address, what is the starting address? 30040 is the starting address, that is considered as the base register value, that is nothing but the base register holds that what is the address of the starting instruction of the particular process. That is for every process the operating system allocates the memory. In that memory, the process related instructions, its related data, the entire one is stored in the particular memory location only. So the memory is allocated is the memory locations is the 30040 to the 420940. These are the memories allocated. In that one, what is the base value? It simply holds the starting address of the particular memory location. And what is the limit value? What is the difference is existing between these two values? For example, here in this one, 30040 and 420940. What is the difference? We simply subtract 30040 from the 420940. We get the value is equal to the 120900 we are able to get. So I hope you are able to understand what is the base register and what is the limit register is. For every process, the operating system allocates the memory. In that allocated memory, the starting memory address is available in the base register. For example, the operating system allocate the 1024 memory locations. Then the limit value is having the 1024. Based on the number of memory locations are allocated, the limit register is simply varies. I hope you are able to understand what is the need of the base and the limit, what is the values are existing on the base and the limit register. The base register holds the starting address of the particular process in the primary memory, and the limit register holds that what is the memory, the size of the memory is allocated to the particular one. And what is the need of this advantage of the base and limit register? The logical address only gives the from that particular process beginning onwards what is the location, instruction location it gives. And once we have the logical address, we simply add with the base register value, then we are able to get the physical address. That is where actually that instruction or the data is available in the primary memory. So the CPU generates the logical address. From that logical address is added to the base register, then it gets the physical address. From that memory location it fetches the data. For example, what is the logical address is generated? If it is above, it is not within the limit, that is nothing but they try to access some other process related data or instruction, it simply not allowed to access, that is nothing but before fetch the data or the instruction, first it verifies that the logical address is within the limit register or not. If it is exceeds the limit register, it simply rejects. If it is within the limit, then only it calculates the physical address and fetch the instruction or the data from the primary memory. I hope you are able to understand what is the use of the base and limit registers and what are the values are stored into the base and limit register. The base register holds the starting address of the particular process, and the limit register simply holds that how much memory is allocated to the particular process, and based on that one, the operating system, whenever the processor generates the logical address, it is able to calculate the physical address to fetch the instruction or to fetch the data or the store the data on the primary memory. And similarly, the limit register is used to provide the protection to the other users' data as well as the programs.